Now look. Bruh, this is bad, bro. We go show y'all some stuff, read some stuff, and I'm gonna explain to y'all exactly why this is horrible. Let's go. So before we get started, I want y'all to understand this phrase that you're about to see, and it's anti-SLAPP motion, right? What does SLAPP mean? SLAPP basically means strategic lawsuit against public participation. It's when someone sues, often for defamation, to silence or punish speech on matters of public interest. California has strong anti-SLAPP laws to protect defendants in these cases. If the defendant files an anti-SLAPP motion, the plaintiff, which you see is Relli here, must show that they have a legally valid case with evidence. If they can't, the case can be thrown out early. This is what you get when you play with the big dogs. But let's read exactly what his doggone motion actually says. I am the plaintiff in this action and make this declaration in support of my request for a continuance. I initially retained my former counsel at Shepherd Mullen after receiving strong recommendations based on their positive reputation. I understood this case would likely be heavily contested, particularly given the considerable resources available to the defendants, and I made every effort to retain experienced representation accordingly. My former counsel advised and encouraged me to file this defamation action, and I relied on their legal expertise and guidance throughout this case. Despite representing me since August 9, 2023, and being paid a substantial retainer since the start of this case, my prior counsel recently informed me that they would no longer represent me due to my financial constraints. On August 5, 2025, I was instructed to sign a substitution of attorney form, which they filed with the court on August 11, 2025. The consequences and legal implications of signing that form were not explained to me at the time. At the time, my attorneys requested the substitution form be signed. Defendant's anti-SLAPP motion was pending and is currently set for hearing on September 8, 2025, the same day as the case management conference. I do not have any formal legal training or experience and have a very limited understanding of legal procedures. Because anti-SLAPP motions have strict technical and evidentiary requirements, I believe it is in the interest of justice that I be granted additional time to secure new counsel. Since the departure of my former counsel, I have been diligently searching for new representation. I have contacted multiple attorneys and law firms and continue to vet potential counsel. However, due to the complexity of the matter and the approaching hearing date, I have not yet been able to retain new counsel. I make this request in good faith, not to delay, but because I was left in this position through no fault of my own. I simply ask a fair opportunity to respond to defendant's motion with the assistance of counsel. Request. For the foregoing reasons, plaintiff respectfully requests that court continue the hearing on defendant's anti-SLAPP motion for at least 30 days to allow plaintiff to retain new counsel and file an appropriate opposition and continue the case management conference to the same date. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. Executed on August 28th, 2025. Y'all know him as Teflon. We know him as ASAP Relli. But what the hell just happened? So the reason why this is horrible, bro, is because if ASAP Relli, September the 8th, what's today's date? September the 5th, so Monday. Big old Monday. We'll be dropping the exclusives on the Reloaded channel as soon as we get the word. Drop it probably like 30 minutes afterwards. Now, full disclosure, I think he's going to be granted it. But I don't know. Because part of me says, yeah, you got your counsel let go of in August, which to me, personally, I don't really think that's enough time. But the judge could go, bruh, when did you really know? Like, your counsel must have talked to you before and let you know this as soon as you lost your case, bro, we're not representing you. Because we know for a fact that his lawyers said, hey, we're not going to sue civilly until you go after him criminally. All right, cool. So he didn't go through it. He would have lost him. He went through it and he lost him anyways. This is terrible. If he loses the anti-SLAPP, it's going to be bad. Why is it going to be bad, though, Nash? You keep on saying that. Explain to us, man. Get off your high horse. Come on down to the people. Because he's going to have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to Joe Tacopina. Bruh, it's going to get crazy. Because you're talking about, and I correct me if we're wrong, he came after Tacopina and A$AP Rocky. And I think this is for A$AP Rocky only. So it is what it is. No, I think Takapina actually put this on him as a defamation lawsuit. Either way it goes, he's going to owe tens upon thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands of dollars is technically how you don't say that. So it's just bad because, bro, you went as a victim and now you're going out as a person who has to pay everything. Imagine you had a freaking case and you like, bro, they shot at me. They shot at me. They shot at me. Only for you to lose the case. Not only lose the case, you got to pay them money. Well, public perception is everything. Imagine, if you will, that we just rooted for the bad guy in the movie and the bad guy won and burnt down the whole entire world. Now, once again, do we believe that A$AP Rocky fired any shots at Relli? It's possible. But it's like, bro, this is some homeboys quarrel. It's not like he actually tried to shoot you. That's not what we saw. It seemed like you was the big bad wolf. You talked all this trash about wanting to mess people up and all this stuff and everything like that. Took your butt from New York, came on down to California, beating on your chest like you was just the man out here. And hey, maybe you felt like that, and maybe you actually are. But in this one, you getting a little buoyed. Why? Because you stepped into a field not knowing crap. What you should have did was you should have said this. And yeah, hindsight is 2020, of course. We see hindsight with clarity. But case law, contract law works in Relli's favor because you have to be able to hear the words when a lawyer is explaining it via contract so that it makes sense to you. It don't matter if it takes 5 hours, 5 days. If you're not comfortable and your knowledge with signing the contract, you actually are entitled to not sign it. And that's literally contract law where they had to break it all down. Now, what is actually going to happen? They're going to grant that. I think they're going to grant it. And I think it's going to be bad. I think the thing that's going to happen is Relli's going to probably try to look at people and go, man, can we settle? Can we just end this crap? Because he's not going to win. Now, if he does win, holy hell. Because, understand, this is the common belief. We're not lawyers. We just go off what lawyers say. Lawyers say it's easier to win a civil suit than it is a criminal suit. Hell if I know. But imagine if he gets this extended and then he goes to court and we see A$AP Relli representing himself. Because, bruh, your lawyers kicked you to the curb. The way it was written, I know he had to look at that and go, this is odd. When we read it, bruh, listen, we read it. We was like, wait. Relli, you said you getting rid of him? You said y'all gotta go? You the big bad wolf? Shit, you got balls of steel, bro. Turns out, nah, that's not true. So, hey, it is what it is, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But, man, I don't know. Because it's hard to root for Relli, bro. It is. And it's sad because what if he actually is a victim? What if he was actually telling the truth? A lot of stuff that he did, he didn't have to do. I think he planted those bullets. That's my opinion based off the facts that was provided by the Los Angeles Police Department and the trial. That's what I believe. It's my belief based on those facts that they presented. Or evidence that they presented. And it is what it is. But we'll see what happens on this one, man. But click right here to say, or to see how the largest slipped up on Instagram and told everybody, bruh, they trying to put new charges on me. And you know who told y'all that was going to happen? Yeah, that would be me.